Greetings and welcome to Weird Wizards Wonder Workshop. That's right, we are back in the Wonder Workshop. We're actually just outside the Wonder Workshop, and this here is new. I have used my wizarding powers to raise up this great cliff face. And there is a reason for that, and if we jump into first person view, I will explain. Now, just over there somewhere, beyond the rise, was a little testing area that I had set up. Because the gods had changed the rules of the world. If you've watched my update video, you will know that I had been playing around with the changes the gods had made. And one of those changes allowed you to build something which approximated a pit trap. Actually, it completely failed to work properly, but it did kind of work. And the other thing allows you to build sort of trebuchets and things, and I built something that, if you were being extremely generous, could be described as not entirely unlike a trebuchet. But yes, neither of them worked particularly well, but what I did succeed in doing was riling up the Barbarians right proper. So the Barbarians of the forest have been causing all sorts of issues since then. They've been harrying me, they've been harrying my minions. Obviously when I'm around it's fine, because I can always do the old whoa pow! That's right, I've got the magical chest cannon, which can deal with Barbarians quite happily. Not to mention my other wizarding powers, which generally make me fine. The gods actually have made things a little bit harsher for some in the world. I'm a wizard, you know, I don't need to deal with these sorts of things as a wizard in the Wonder Workshop. My minions, however, do. So I raised up a great cliff all the way along from mountain to mountain to bar the Barbarians from access to the workshop. Now, it's obviously not impregnable. You know, you could climb up this cliff if you wanted to. It's not all that high. I probably could have made it higher, but you know, magic is tiring work. It's very tiring work. And as you can see, it goes all the way. There is a few artifacts here from the great magics I used to create it, but it does go all the way from one mountain all the way across to the other mountain on the far side there, you can see. So the first line of defense is the watchtowers. And I constructed two. Well, I constructed one, and, well, I'll show you in a second. So I constructed another one, and I have named this one Jude's Watch, and it is named in honor of my nephew Jude, who was pretty much the reason why I started YouTubing. When I was down last Christmas, we were talking about YouTube, and I was talking about some of the YouTubers who I watched, and he said to me, "You should make YouTube videos." And you know what, Jude? I did. I did. I started doing it, and this is the result. And it seems to be doing all right. So thank you very much, Jude. This is a big shout out to you. I hope you are enjoying watching these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. And in honor of you, I have named this watchtower Jude's Watch. There you go. This is your watchtower, Jude. It guards the forest beyond the workshop. It watches out for any barbarian activity. It's not armed yet, but such things may be in the works for the next episode. But for the time being, it's just going to be a way of seeing what is coming. I have also raised up the defences, a defensive wall all the way along the line now, all the way along between these two mountains. I've raised up a defensive wall, which I will show you. I mean, it's still in progress, as you can see. It's not completely finished, or even mostly finished. But let's concentrate on the watchtower at the moment. So let's head inside Jude's Watch and see what wonders await inside. It's a fairly compact watchtower. It's dual walled. Is that the word? We basically got a tower within a tower, and the reason for that is, well, that was my first attempt at constructing a watchtower. As you know, structural integrity is on in this world. The gods have decreed that things must be able to bear their own weight. The impossible tower, obviously I used a great amount of sorcery and wizardry in its construction to allow me to overcome that. But I decided not to do that, at least not at first, here on my watchtowers. I wanted them to be normal, proper constructions. So I started building it, and as you can see, we had a bit of a collapse. Like the whole upper section just kind of like tore off and collapsed down into the structure, and so there it is. I may clean this up at some point and replace it with another working tower, or I might just leave it as a monument to failure, or as a monument to a hard lesson learned, I should say. So let's head on over to Jude's Watch, the completed tower. As I say, For strength, it actually has a solid stone core up to about here. So there is a solid stone core running up from the ground, which keeps the whole thing, keeps this whole lower level here properly reinforced and structurally sound. If we then go inside, we have an outer wall along with a circular inner wall which contains the stairwell that leads us up, and that also provides additional strength, I think, and rigidity and structural integrity to the building, and allows it to stand that little bit taller. So down here, there's not a great deal. We've got just a barrel with your stuff in it, whatever stuff is necessary for the watch keepers to keep their watch. A couple of chairs, just for people to kind of, sit down when they're not doing something else. It wasn't completely without issues constructing this second tower either. There were multiple minor collapses and issues. That's the only remaining piece of damage that I haven't repaired. I thought I'd leave it there just as a, just to remind me of how difficult these things can be. Inside, we've got a few barrels stored at the bottom of the stairs, and then if we just head up the spiral stairs to the first floor, this is the living room, the living chamber for the watchkeeper. So there's a little bed for whoever is not on watch at the time can sleep there. You've got a table and some chairs, and a little changing desk there, and some more storage. So just a little home away from home. If you're on the long watch overnight and you're splitting it up with the various other watchmen here, you can come in and take a rest, catch a few winks, as long as somebody remains on watch at all times. As always, my minions just happen to be out to lunch right now, but normally this place would be filled with my minions, keeping watch and generally busying themselves, doing all of my manual labour and things that a wizard himself doesn't need to do. If we carry on up to the next level, this is kind of the main watch level. So we've got an outdoor balcony area here with what are these called? This must be a technical name for these battlements. Is that it? Battlements? I think it's battlements. So I've placed some battlements here, so if the barbarians do attack, then my minions armed with bows and arrows maybe and rocks and things can see to the defense of the wall and can sort of harry them and drive them off. And generally as well, when they're keeping watch, it just gives them an extra protection, an extra degree of safety. Just to look across there at the collapsed tower, yes, and of course the impossible tower in the distance, and the workshop. There's a few things going on in the workshop, but we're not going to look at those today because that is not the focus. But suffice to say, the second line of defense is being worked on, and the second line of defense is much more active than the first line of defense. Right, if we head up to the top floor now, this is basically the high watch. So this is just like the high tower. Gives you the most view over the terrain. Brave minions can kind of perch in these little doorway areas and look out over the entire forest and keep watch, which is awesome. And so there you go. That is it. That is the watchtower. It's a pretty simple construction as far as these things go, but I'm reasonably happy with it. I'm pretty sure it did need this interior kind of like second support thing by having this spiral stair running up it. Without it, I was just getting all sorts of structural stresses and strains that I couldn't deal with. And the sign, of course, Jude's watch. A little message to Keen, the developers. What I would really like, I quite like this big sign. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of cool. It's big. It shows you. Look, there's a few bits left over from making it. It's nice, but it takes up a lot of space. And if I have to name everything in the workshop with massive, great big signs like this, it's going to cause some space issues. So what I would really like is a signpost, or maybe even a variety of signposts of a few different sizes, so that I can put things up, put things around, put it on walls, or have them freestanding. But just ways of naming things and putting those names out in a visible way, without having to sort of like manually build these pretty massive signs. Great. So there we go. Jude's watch. Fantastic. Let us go and have a little look at the other parts of the first line of defense. The wall, the battlements run out there, I'm afraid. So we do have an exit here. I'm not entirely sure about this. This seems like pretty unsafe at the moment. But what I've got is a kind of the idea is that I can kind of conjure this away, or ultimately maybe I'll have like a rope. It's not actually a drawbridge. Maybe I should make it into a proper drawbridge. That might be more sensible. As it is at the moment, it's just a kind of what would you call that? It's like, I mean, it's just sitting on there. I can push it off if I need to. But let's go across. Whoa! What? Ow! Well, okay, didn't work. So great. Well, there you go. That kind of solves that problem. That obviously that was planned. You see, that's what happens if a barbarian tries to come running across. It does take some resetting up, to be fair, because now it's smashed into a million pieces and its supports are gone. So yeah, okay. Let's call that a slightly less successful part of the first line of defense, shall we? That I will replace with something better, a more engineered solution, shall we say. Look, there's the towers over there, Jude's Watch and the ruined tower, the folly, the Wizards Folly tower. Great. Naming. I asked you guys to name the forest, and a couple of good names came in. There wasn't a lot of voting happening on it, to be honest with you. So I had to make an executive decision, and whilst all the names were really good, and I really, honestly, any of them would have been perfect. Partly it came down to the length of the name having to be within a reasonable within a reasonable number of letters, considering the way I have of naming it, and then of course ultimately there could only have been one choice, because Fallen X, probably, in fact definitely my most loyal subscriber so far, subscriber number 8, would you believe? He was the 8th to subscribe to this channel way back in February, and of course he requested the Fallen Forest, and there it is. It is just Fallen Forest. I could put the word "the" on the end, but it would make this that much longer. And yeah, from henceforth, this shall be known as the Fallen Forest, and within it, Barbarian Horde. They dwell within the Fallen Forest, and they harry my borders. Great, there you go. So yeah, props to you as well, Fallen X, for naming. So we'll call this the second named object in... Object? Is a forest an object? Region? Thing? It's the second named thing in the Wonder Workshop. The honour of the first named thing goes to Jude, because without him, none of this probably would have happened. And so there you go. There you go. Once again, Jude, thanks a lot, man. You are the best. As are you, Fallen X, and all my other subscribers. Everyone who has helped me get up to over 126 as I record this, I believe. So there we go. Fantastic. Right, well, that's pretty much it. I know it's been a bit of a weird Wonder Workshop today, but fear not. The Wonder Workshop will be back. The second line of defense will be being implemented soon. Of course, the second line of defense is a much more active line of defense. This is the passive line. This is just observation and delay. The second line of defense now, that will be aggression, and yeah, there's various things planned for that, and beyond that we've got lots of other ideas as well. A few of you guys have made some great suggestions for things that I can build or try and build, and I will be making efforts at doing those. I've already done a few experiments, and of course as well I've got some of my own ideas for cool stuff. So there you go. That's it. That is it for this Wonder Workshop. Like I say, a relatively short one, but quite an important one. The Fallen Forest. Named, the Barbarian Hordes, causing all sorts of problems. Defences. The defences have been raised up. A wall-to-wall cliff, along with the watchtowers for the minions to keep guard, to keep watch. I think it's all right. I think it looks quite nice. Like we've kind of raised these battlements up a little bit as well. We've extended the wall. Little other touches here and there. Obviously the collapsed tower. So there you go. Great, fantastic. Thanks a lot to everyone who has subscribed to the channel over the past month to 2 months, month and a half really, of the channel's been properly active. And yeah, you're all fantastic. We're still a tiny channel, which is great from the point of view it means I can engage directly with each and every one of you when you post comments, when you suggest games and all that sort of good stuff, which is fantastic. Hopefully we will keep growing. A lot of you have offered some really fantastic feedback, and some brilliant encouragement as well. And yeah, I'm trying to keep my feet on the ground, but certainly things seem to be going pretty well. So on that note, I'm going to say thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you later.